From chickens and salt all the way to invisible computer code, money is, without a doubt, one of humanity's greatest inventions, but it's also one of the most misunderstood. So what is it really? And how in the world did we go from trading goats to tapping our phones? Well, let's unpack this incredible story. I want you to just imagine this for a second. You walk into a store, you're ready to buy a brand new laptop. You pick out the perfect one, head to the checkout, and you tell the cashier, okay, I'll give you, say, 10 kilograms of rice and 2 chickens for it. Sounds absolutely ridiculous, doesn't it? Well, as weird as that sounds to us today, that's exactly how the world worked for thousands and thousands of years. Before money, people relied on what we call the barter system. If you were a farmer, you traded your wheat. If you were a potter, you traded your pots. Simple as that. But you can probably guess, this system created a world of incredibly awkward, really inefficient trades. It was held back by one single, massive problem that made it almost impossible for economies to grow beyond the most basic exchanges. And that problem has a fancy name, the double coincidence of wants. But here's what it really means. For that laptop trade to work, you don't just have to find someone who wants your chickens. That exact same person also has to have the laptop you want to buy. The chances of that happening? They're practically zero. And that puts a hard limit on pretty much all of commerce. So, to escape this trap, humanity came up with one of its most powerful tools ever, the simple, absolutely elegant idea of money. It was designed to solve this trade problem once and for all. You see, for anything to actually be called money, it needs to do 3 really important jobs. First, it has to be a medium of exchange, something everyone agrees to accept when you buy stuff. Second, it needs to be a unit of account, a common ruler we can use to measure the value of everything. And third, it's got to be a store of value, meaning you can save it today and it'll still be worth something tomorrow, unlike, a chicken. So the very first types of money weren't paper notes or numbers on a screen. No, they had to be things that people already agreed were valuable all on their own, things with what you might call real, intrinsic value. And this led to what we call commodity money. We're talking about things like gold, silver, or even salt. Fun fact, the word salary actually comes from the Latin word for salt, because Roman soldiers were sometimes paid in it. These things worked because they were durable, you could carry them around, and pretty much everyone agreed they were valuable. But let's be real, lugging around heavy bags of gold or big sacks of salt to do your shopping isn't exactly convenient, and it's definitely not safe. Humanity needed a better, more practical solution. And this is where the next huge evolution happened. It's the moment when governments stepped in and said, okay, we're going to print this paper, and we declare that this is now money. This was the birth of modern or fiat currency. And this is where things get really interesting, because it required a massive mental shift. Think about it. A gold coin is valuable because it's made of gold. But fiat money, the dollars, rupees, and euros we use every day, that's just paper. Its value comes entirely from a government's promise, or fiat, and our collective trust that they'll stand by it. But a system based purely on trust has a hidden catch. What happens if a government just prints more money? Well, the value of every single note out there starts to drop. And that, my friends, is inflation, the slow, silent thief that eats away at the value of your savings over time. From tangible paper, money then took its next giant leap into the abstract. It became instant and, for the most part, totally invisible. Welcome to the digital revolution. This is the world we're all living in right now. Every time you use UPI, swipe a credit card, or check your bank account online, you're using digital money. It's still the same government-backed fiat currency, but now it's just data, moving around the world at the speed of light. But of course, all this incredible convenience brought a whole new set of dangers. All of a sudden, our money was vulnerable to things like hacking, sophisticated online fraud, and some really big questions about our financial privacy. And it was these very problems, centralized control, security risks, privacy concerns, that really paved the way for the latest and by far the most controversial evolution in the story of money, the crypto revolution, an attempt to build a financial system with no middlemen at all. Kicked off by Bitcoin back in 2009, cryptocurrency offered a truly radical new idea. It runs on something called a blockchain, which is basically a super secure public digital ledger that's nearly impossible to tamper with. And its core features were designed to challenge the old systems head-on. It's decentralized, so no single bank or government is in charge. And many, like Bitcoin, have a limited supply, a direct answer to the problem of inflation we talked about earlier. But, and please, hear this loud and clear, for all of its futuristic promise, this new world is also an incredibly wild and dangerous place. This is the space where so many people, jumping in without really understanding it, end up losing their money. And the main reason is simple: extreme volatility. The value of most cryptocurrencies can skyrocket one day and then completely crash the next. Right now, it acts less like a stable currency and way more like a high-risk speculative bet. So the key takeaway here couldn't be clearer. Getting involved with complex financial tools like crypto without doing your homework and truly understanding the risks is a massive, massive gamble. So let's just quickly recap this incredible journey. We started with barter, a system of direct trade. That evolved into commodity money, based on real, intrinsic value. Then came fiat money, based on government trust, which then went digital, becoming instant and invisible. And today, we're exploring the wild new frontier of crypto, a world of decentralized value. You know, this whole story just reminds me of that old saying: if you don't understand money, you will always work for it. Every single step in this evolution created huge opportunities, but mainly for the people who actually understood what was happening. Because at the end of the day, smart people don't just focus on earning money. They make it their business to understand it. Understanding how this system works is the absolute first step toward taking control of your financial future. And speaking of understanding, in our next explainer, we're going to zero in on that hidden catch in our modern financial world. We are going to dive deep into inflation, and I'll show you exactly why the money sitting in your bank account is losing value every single year. You won't want to miss it.